What's up, nation? Really appreciate everybody for tuning in to this thing. The Cowboys decided to go ahead and move on from Cooper Rush. I will say this. This seems like a whole new team. They didn't even give the brother a chance to see if he can do anything this offseason. They just said, you know what, Cooper? We like what you did for the previous years. Although we gave you $2 million, we just gonna say hasta la vista. They didn't even say baby. They just said hasta la vista. Now they making moves. They're making room for Andy. Of course, I know a lot of people are sitting there saying, "Hey, what about the safety position, Law? Where can we add the safety position? Because that's what we need help at. Or what about this Everson Griffin? Could we utilize some of that money to go get an Everson Griffin? Maybe he can help out this defense a little bit better." And I said, man, boy, that would be a good idea. But when you already have your mindset to have a legitimate backup quarterback, that's just the reality of it. Can I repeat? That's just the reality of it. They got a legitimate backup quarterback instead of playing around with the fact that you don't know whether or not Cooper Rush will be able to do anything, nor a Ben DiNucci. So they said, Andy, think about this from the confines of Andy. I'm not saying that he's the best thing since sliced bread because a lot of people get it twisted. What I'm saying is he's only 1,000 yards away from Kurt Warner's record. 1,000 yards away. So they're looking at it from the total picture, not just the small picture. And I know it's hard to see the picture when you are in the frame. But the reality of it, Cowboy Nation, look, this team is different. The Dak Prescott contract, I think that is already out there. It's just that his agents, I think that Dak Prescott agent is really selling the water because there's a contract out there. Of course, we can go back and forth over the years, but how about you just sign and get that deal? You will be, collectively speaking, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And that's only going to last for a cup of coffee. Let me repeat, you will be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, but it's only going to last for a cup of coffee. Because as soon as Pat Mahomes and as soon as the Watkins kids get his money, we already know what happened. Just like CMC got his money, Ezekiel Elliott's no longer the highest paid running back in the NFL. That's just how it goes. So sign the 5-year deal, and at the end of the 4th year, just hold out there. That's all you got to do. Just sit back and look at it and say, well, I'm not playing till I renegotiate my contract. What's so hard about doing that? Because what happened here is that now this stuff is continuing to go on and 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 on. And people always say, oh, it's not fair, it's not right. Why do Dak Prescott got to do this? And I hate when people bring up the fact that Dak Prescott is black. But last I checked, did Drew Brees ever get on a franchise tag? Y'all help me out. Let me know, did Drew Brees ever got on a franchise tag? And let me know what color Drew Brees is. Let me know, because I'm tired of the black versus white situation. Let me know if Peyton Manning ever been on a franchise tag. Let me know. Because I'm tired of people throwing around saying that this is a black versus white situation. It's not. It's not. It's the stupidity of Dak Prescott camp. And I love Dak Prescott. I love him. Hell State, Mississippi State. We can go back and forth about this. Let me know where I'm wrong. Did Peyton Manning ever been on a franchise tag? Did Drew Brees ever been on a franchise tag? Man, my goodness. Look, everything is not about race, especially when you're dealing with Jerry Wayne Jones. If you think Jerry Jones is a racist, think about Nate Newton. Let me know where else he would get a job at. Let me know if I'm lying. My thing is, we love this team. We support this team. But in the reality of it, the politics side of it and the business side of it is muddy. It's nasty. Everybody want their coin. Everybody want their bread. Everybody want their paper. Everybody want their bag. Whatever word they using these days that the kids using. But everybody want those things. But in the reality of it, it takes all of the players to get to the Super Bowl. Not just one, not just two, but multiple players to get to the Super Bowl. And if we're about getting to the Super Bowl, then we should look at the confines of everything and say, okay, This is what need to be done. This is what dragging this team behind. This is what page we need to be on. And this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. And I love Dez Bryant. Man, boy, we love him throwing up the X. And a lot of people were saying, and I was reading a lot of comments and stuff like that on Twitter and everywhere. And they said, man, you know what? They let Jason Witten come back. They should allow and let Dez Bryant come back, which I do agree. However, there's codes to this thing. Can I repeat? There are codes to this thing. There are codes to this life. There's a reason why people wear suits and wear ties. There's a reason why you get your hair cut and you go to the interview. There's a reason why you do certain things. There's codes out here in the streets. There's codes out there in the prison cells. There's codes wherever you go. And once you violate a code and you didn't create the game, you just participated in the game, they kick you out of the game. That's the reality of it. You just can't walk around certain hoods and say, okay, oh, since this is that, I'm gonna do that. No. You get your wig split real quick going in the wrong neighborhood, talking about you gonna reinvent the code. That's just the reality of it. Things are put into place. What I'm trying to say to everybody is that Jason Witten, he didn't violate a certain code of bumping his gums out on social media, going around talking about certain players in contract. He kept it real straight and narrow. He was able to get back in because he fell on his face with ESPN. We all know that was like, okay, look, you long in the tooth. We respect you because you got the legacy of the 82. You Jason Witten, for crying out loud, got all of the tight end records. We'll bring you back because you didn't violate the code. It's codes to this thing, baby. Let me know if I'm lying. Let me know if you got a house all set up and there's certain codes that somebody got to greet you. Or you the man of your castle and somebody waking up and they don't say good morning or good afternoon. Somebody can just walk in your house, go in your refrigerator. No, that's codes to this situation. That's respect. That's respect. Oh my goodness, man. Take them shoes off. That's what Locke said. You can't just walk in Locke's house. Now, in a certain situation, you may could just walk in your house without shoes. But Locke's saying right there in the comment box, man, you walking in my house, you know what you gonna have to do? Take your shoes off. There's codes to this thing. Last I checked, Dez Bryant didn't create the NFL. He don't own a piece of the NFL. He played in the NFL. Case in point, people play Madden. People play, what else out there? Call of Duty, whatever you may go play, but there's codes to that particular game. You can't go to Call of Duty and say, hey, I'm finna play a 5-on-5 pickup basketball. That ain't the part of the game, baby. You gotta fit in to get what you gotta do. For all of my people that look like me, look, this world is different for us. We minority, we not the majority. So therefore, we gotta do a little things differently. It's not the fact that it's racism or inequality, but the reality of it is that we got to figure out ways to get in. You get in, you stack your paper, you stack your bread, you figure out how to uplift your community or the people that's inside of your family, and then you keep it moving. You stack paper on top of paper. But some people, guess what? Newsflash, they don't have to do that. They get the spoon, the silver spoon at that. That's the reality of it. But when we look at this situation, Cooper Rush, he's gone now. Okay. Oh, life's not fair. Cooper Rush been on this team for many of years. But they look at it like this. He's not a valuable asset. We done went and spent money to get somebody that's proven, that's going to help out this team in a situation if Dak Prescott camp is not wise enough or smart enough or whatever they may do to play around with the money and saying that they want this and they want that. If this thing prolonged, if I'm the new head coach, don't you think that I would rather go with my program with an Andy Dalton versus a Cooper Rush? Hey, if I'm the coach, I'm sitting there like, yeah, what the world y'all doing? Y'all bring Dak Prescott in, y'all pay him whatever. Because at the end of the day, guess what, nation? This world don't care about Mike McCarthy. Jerry Wayne don't care about Mike McCarthy. You'll be a monkey's uncle to think that Mike McCarthy is going to have 10 years like Jason Garrett. No, Mike McCarthy is not going to have 10 years like him. He got to win now. Matter of fact, a third of you guys just right now listening to this show right here, a third of you all will not give Mike McCarthy a chance if he go 0-2, 0-3. Y'all be ready to say, you know what, Mike, we rather have the clapper back. Nobody's willing to go through what was the 49ers record? Not last year, but the year before that. Let me know. What was the 49ers record the year before last? Let me know. Let me know. Cowboys Mike says McCarthy only have 2 to 3 years. He don't have time to play around with it. I think, was it Shanahan? They went like 4-12 the year before last. Now they found themselves 3-13. Shout out to your locks, man, for the information for the nation coming in with the facts. 4-12. Larry, really appreciate you. 4-12. They was ready to run that kid out of there. The next year, the following year, they went to the Super Bowl. We don't have that type of patience. We do not have that type of patience. Let me repeat, we do not have that type of patience over here in Dallas Cowboys land. Let this team go 4-12. Watch what will happen to Mike McCarthy. People are already having their reservations on him now. So Mike McCarthy is looking at this thing like, I need to have somebody that can ingratiate themselves with this particular team and see who they can elevate and pick up my philosophy. Why not go out there and get a West Coast guy that already know West Coast philosophy, schemes, schematics, systems, preparations. Remember, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. I can't say this enough. Cowboy Nation, when we start to talk about every little small confines of these things, and that's why I'm talking to you guys live. This is no pre-recorded. This is all straight off the dome. I'm telling you guys that this particular team is about business of winning. And we can play the political aspect of everything, but political football do not win you games. Case in point, going out there, picking up a Jason Garrett, hiring him as much as money you gave Wade Phillips, and then circumventing that, getting rid of Wade Phillips, and then trying to uplift a person that never proven anything. And I hate to go back to Jason Garrett, but that's the reality. That's what we've been through. But now when we finally got some football information here, people are upset. Come on, man. Oh my goodness. Quest, what's good with your holdout tag, franchise tag? Yeah, new staff, no favors. This is from my dog, Mr. Wright. Here's why it's no favors. Because these guys got a short rope. That rope is not long at all. Ben Danucci is your dark horse. Shout out to you, Price. Really appreciate you. The deal will get done with Dak, and I'm not worried. This is from D Nation 1. Yeah, I think that the deal will get done. Nevertheless, going through this process of dragging this thing throughout the mud is foolish. Like I said, and I said this a couple of streams ago, you don't go buy a Porsche. You do not go buy a nice car and leave it parked on the outside, knowing that people can put their hands on it, people can look at it, throw rocks at it. Oh, the rain, the temperaments of the weather and all of those things are a factor. You got a garage. You pour that baby up inside the garage. They let this Dak Prescott sit out there so the media can eat him up and so that the fan base can be divided. That's not how you properly plan and do business. And I'm not saying that Jerry Wayne Jones should take advice from little old me, because guess what? I've never been close to $1 billion. Hell, I've never been close to $1 million. But I can tell you this one thing, the way they handling this thing, these players are not robots. And on top of that, the agency got to understand that, okay, when you look at both of these situations and you say to yourself, the agency, the contract is at hand. Well, why don't you just go ahead and get this thing going so we won't be continuing to talk about, oh, this car being left outside on the curb. Maybe it's got a bad transmission. Maybe the brake's not working. It looks good on the outside, but what's going on with it? Jerry need to get on the horn and say, okay, I know we are in disagreeing with the years. And the agency need to get on the horn and say, okay, I know we are too. But dog it, the moment we continue to do this, all we doing is sullying and denigrating the quarterback. Let's get this deal done. Let's stop talking about it. Let's go ahead and be about winning football games. But when it's about the money, look, we gonna always have this disagreements because it's about money. You think I'm lying? If you guys go work at Walmart, pay less wherever you work at, and if you know that you've been putting in some grind action, some work action, you getting paid maybe $12 an hour or 15, whatever it may be, and you see somebody that don't get the amount of work that you doing and they get paid 25, you will have a ride. You'll go crazy out there. You will say, hey, how that brother getting paid 25? But I digress. I digress. Toot Robinson, man, really appreciate you. My dark horse is Donovan Wilson. He showed some flashes. Shout out to you, your mama. Really appreciate you. Was Dak Prescott a Pro Bowler in 2019? I don't think that he was a Pro Bowler in 2019. But by cutting $2.1 million in cap, this organization dragged its players. This is from my lady, Miss Jackie. It dragged its players. What does Pro Bowl mean? That's a popularity contest. I agree. Pro Bowl is just nothing more than a popularity contest. Isn't arm strength is a problem with DiNucci? I think here's the thing. The DiNucci angle versus Cooper Rush. We seen Cooper Rush. Matter of fact, hands down, if you guys been out there to training camp, Oxnard, anywhere, Cooper Rush is a beast out there. Let me say this again. Cooper Rush is a beast out there as it relates to training camp or what have you. It's just in games, he fold up like a wallet, a lawn chair. I'm telling you, last year, ask me, Big Game James, and whoever else was out there in Oxnard. Cooper Rush was moving his team. The second team offense, the second team, everything was looking good. He was doing so good, they put him on the first team, and he was still moving that rock. But guess what? When preseason, the lights came on, Cooper Rush came exactly what he was, Cooper Rush. Rush clean up out of there. So we will see the DiNucci versus the Clayton Thorson. I see y'all over there, man. Really appreciate everybody. I just want to get this out. That this team, if this team is about that grind action, and I see that they are, then they would not stop for anybody. They continue to do their evaluation, player evaluations 365. Let's continue to grind. I really appreciate everybody. Follow my content on Law Nation, LAW Nation on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, tweet. You can tweet this thing out. Twitch, that's what you call it, Twitch. WITCH, Twitch, that's what it is. Or LAW TV, LAW Nation TV on Roku and your Amazon Fire Stick TV. That's been my time. I really thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. Let me know how you guys feel about Cooper Rush being gone. Let me know how you guys feel. There's codes to life, baby. There's codes to life, regardless of how you look at it. There's codes wherever you at, in your area code, your zip code, your street, your corner, your hood, your school. There's codes, and once you violate that, the law gonna step in. That's the craziest thing of it all, man, right? Right? There's codes out here, baby. You gotta be careful out there. You can't just be bumping your gums without applying to those codes. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.